I love that music. Hi, I'm Justine, and Amita will be joining me soon. We're super excited to be here with all of you today to share some exciting new developments, how we're reimagining how dev and IT teams come together to operate at high velocity in this new software-powered world that we live in. A lot has changed in a very short amount of time because of COVID. You can't escape it if you turn it on the news. And one thing that became apparent to many businesses was the need to provision secure, scalable communications to support a sudden and significant rise in the number of work-from-home employees. Software is holding the world together. We all turned into a remote workforce overnight if we could. And companies had to accelerate a digital transformation to accommodate. So while the global economy has taken a series of hits from the COVID pandemic, one sector of the economy has done enormously well, in part because of the increased need for digital communication. Nextiva delivers one of the best cloud phone systems for businesses on the market, along with a reputation for stellar service. They need an equally powerful SaaS software stack to harness the power of secure and efficient cross-functional collaboration in order to achieve their ultimate goal of redefining the way business and technology connect and live up to their motto of one platform, one workspace, zero friction. Nextiva relies on Atlassian to improve cross-team collaboration, streamline their processes, and share knowledge effectively. And in just 3 years, Nextiva doubled its workforce. That kind of rapid growth doesn't happen easily. The dev and IT teams are going to feel it the most. They have to sprint together to continue to deliver and operate great products and service experiences. And Jira Service Management, Confluence, Jira Software, and Bitbucket help Nextiva unlock new efficiencies and enable the kind of seamless collaboration needed to scale their award-winning service. But Nextiva is only one example. There are countless Atlassian customers who have used Atlassian tools to make change their competitive advantage. And we hear from you that IT teams have to partner with your dev teams to deliver products and services that are always on. How many of you use a Peloton or know of someone who raves about it? I definitely jumped on that bandwagon during COVID. You just heard from Shabs earlier that Peloton saw a 94% jump in subscriptions when the pandemic shut down gyms. That's a great example of a company that relies on having great services that are always on. And Sony Music Publishing is another good example, where IT is helping every team in their organization do their very best work. Sony Music Publishing administers the largest music publishing catalog in the world, with over 4.5 million songs. They love to innovate and keep ahead of the curve. They are digitally transforming their music publishing operations, as well as finding other ways to empower their employees to do their best work, especially given our new normal. Their IT teams quickly recognized how every team across their 38 offices worldwide, finance, legal, sales, and more, could use Jira Service Management to deliver great service to all of their employees. And they're taking enterprise-wide service management to a whole new level. By extending Jira Service Management to streamline global publishing asset delivery, royalty administration, songwriter publishing deal creation and approvals, and so much more. So for a company like Sony Music Publishing, their reputation is everything. And keeping pace with the demands of their star songwriters is what gives them their competitive advantage. For our customers, change is opportunity. You ship products faster, you iterate on your services faster, and you resolve problems faster. This agility puts you in a position to win, no matter what happens. But for lots of companies, it isn't that easy. Our customers have seen great success from weathering the COVID-19 storm to changing the very identity of their entire business, all on the back of Atlassian's solution. Your secret to success is your ability to respond to change at a high velocity and deliver great products and service experiences that are always on and fast. Sure, for born-in-the-cloud startups, change is easy. But for companies with brands, markets, process, and employees, change can be a bit harder. Siloed tools cause friction between dev, IT, and the business. And every team's tools are optimized for their specific needs, but very few are optimized for getting work done across the whole organization. So as a result, you don't have the contextual information you need to actually take action and respond to business changes and resolve issues fast. So today, we'll show you how to help unleash the potential of all your teams by connecting dev, IT, and the business. We believe we can unleash the potential of your employees, teams, and business through teamwork. So we've been investing in capabilities and solutions that will help bring your dev, IT, and business teams together to operate at high velocity. They'll be able to rapidly deliver, operate, and support exceptional products and service experiences. So in the next 20 minutes or so, Amita and I are going to step you through some of these cool new investments. And we're going to start with showing you how teams deliver value fast without the cost and complexity of some of the other solutions that are out there. Then we'll show you how we make work visible with some exciting new capabilities that will provide your teams with richer, contextual information and insights so you can move fast and make better decisions. And finally, we'll step you through the investments we're making to accelerate the flow of work between dev, IT, and business teams, allowing you to speed business requests through to development, on to operations, and back again. So let's start by talking about how dev and IT teams deliver value fast to their business counterparts. The software delivery tool chain has evolved incredibly fast, and teams seeking advantage adopt the best tool for that job. And so that's resulted in an ever-growing tool stack that can be fragmented, difficult to set up and manage, and the source of information silos. So to help with this, we've seen companies either turn to tool consolidation from a single vendor or bootstrap the tool chain through a painstaking manual process of wiring all the tools together in Jira. So for those of you in development or IT operations, you know that no single vendor can provide you with a single stack to help you plan, build, deploy, operate, and support your digital products and services. The market simply moves too quickly, and the pressures are too great to optimize for good enough tools. At Atlassian, we believe the best development tool chains require the flexibility to support multiple tools. That's why we're open and integrated. Open so that your teams can use the best tools for their mission, and integrated so work flows seamlessly across teams at high velocity. But we know that there's still a lot that we can do to make it easier to integrate our solutions with other best-of-breed offerings to help you get the job done even faster. DevOps can't be bought from a single vendor. It's built. And for too long, the decision organizations faced, best-of-breed or all-in-one, felt like an ultimatum. So we think it's about time to not make a compromise. For those of you build it, you run it teams, we've done the groundwork of setting up the structure for you. So I'd like to introduce Opendevops. It's a pre-configured DevOps project that combines Atlassian products with partner offerings. And the default DevOps project is built around Jira Software, Confluence, Bitbucket, and Opsgenie, but extends to our partners so your developers can use the tools that they may already be using, like GitHub or GitLab. So a tool stack that used to take 53 steps is now consolidated into 6 steps to set up. And for teams that own or need deeper service operations and support capabilities, Opendevops also integrates nicely with Jira Service Management. With Jira as the backbone, we abstract the complexity of making a diverse toolchain feel like an all-in-one. Teams can focus on shipping value to their customers while we take on the complexity of integrating their tools and ensuring workflows. So let's take a look at what's inside Opendevops. The new connection screen in Jira shows toolchain owners all of the tools connected to your Jira projects, providing a bird's eye view of your stack. Whether it's an Opsgenie team or a GitLab repo connected to your Jira project, these tools will now be automatically connected whenever you start a new project in Jira. That means no more reconnecting your tools every time you start a new project. Jira will give you a single hub to view and manage your software toolchain, regardless of the tool. And for developers, we know you just want to code without having to swivel chair to a different tool to update the status of your project. So we've brought the best of both worlds together. We've integrated Git repositories, Bitbucket, GitHub, and GitLab into Jira software so you don't have to. And here's where the automation magic happens. If you take one thing away from today, let it be this. Include Jira issue keys in your development work, like commits, pull requests, or branches, and Jira will update itself. This is so important that this will not be the last time you hear me say this today. So when you do this, the list of repos in the code tab in Jira is then ordered by the most recent update. So all your stakeholders can get a sense of what you're working on right now. This means less status updates for developers, better project tracking for project and product managers, and better insight for ops teams and downstream stakeholders. And just like code, we're bringing deployments into Jira software. And here it is again. Jira updates itself. As long as you include that Jira issue in your deployments will start showing up in Jira. Your development teams can continue to work in the CI/CD tool of their choice, whether it's Bitbucket Pipelines, Circle CI, GitLab CI, or Jenkins. And meanwhile, the rest of your team can visualize how the work is progressing in Jira software. They get clear visibility into where it changes in the pipeline and when it will reach customers. And for teams that need the ability to fast-track changes while maintaining control, we've built deep integrations between your CI/CD tools like Bitbucket Pipelines, Jenkins, Circle CI, Octopus Deploy with Jira Service Management. And then the risk assessment engine in Jira Service Management that's powered by automation for Jira will quickly score the risk, determine if it's a low-risk change that can be auto-approved and deployed, or if it's a high-risk change that requires further approvals. Your developers can track the progress of the request right from their CI/CD tool. No more swivel chairing. And once the change is approved, Jira Service Management automatically ungates the deployment for your development team and pushes that change into production. And the beauty of all this is it unblocks your development team while still giving IT Ops a complete audit trail of the changes deployed in one place in Jira Service Management. So by putting dev and IT on the same platform, we're able to automate that last mile that's so essential for responding to business changes fast. Jira puts dev and IT on a common platform for work management, enabling autonomy and tight coordination between dev, IT, and the business. But that's a tooling thing, and DevOps is not just about tooling. DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a way of working. And that's why Atlassian is so invested in both tools and practices. We give teams guidance on how to work together via templates and playbooks to really facilitate change. We embedded Confluence into Opendevops to show teams how to connect tools with practices so dev and IT can collaborate. We provide one-click templates for things like change management, runbooks, and post-incident reviews. So you can make these best practices a regular part of your team's work. So we've started by integrating code, deployments, service operations, and documentation in Opendevops. And we'll make it easier to configure your toolchain from Jira, regardless of the tool, with more categories coming soon in Opendevops. Over to you, Amita.
Thanks, Justine. We've just seen how we're making it easier to integrate your favorite tools so you can quickly build, deploy, operate, and support great products and services. Now, continuing on that thread of how we're helping you deliver value fast, let's step you through some of the investments we're making so your IT teams can, one, empower every team in your company to be a service team, and two, help your employees request and get help from any team within your company. Now, over the years, Jira Service Desk and now Jira Service Management has helped over 30,000 of our customers quickly enable every team within their organization to be a service team, from IT to facilities to finance, marketing, legal, and beyond. They've used it for enterprise-wide service management. And we've heard time and time again that you find that Jira Service Management is far more cost-effective and it's easier to set up, use, and maintain compared to some of the other solutions that are out there in the market. Now, we know that the way your employees and your customers interact with you is changing forever, especially given the new normal. Your employees can't really do a drive-by someone's desk as much anymore to get help, can they? And you have to make it super simple for them to ask for help and get it through the channel of their choice. Now, that could be through an incredibly intuitive self-service portal, or through a chat tool of their choice, or via email. We're committed to making the investments in Jira Service Management so your teams can turn to it for service delivery across the enterprise. And to that end, I'm thrilled that Proforma, the maker of a fantastic no-code, low-code forms builder, is joining the Atlassian family. Now, by including Proforma's capabilities in Jira Service Management, your teams will find it even simpler to configure sleek new service request forms. They'll be able to create these dynamic cascading forms for your employees and your customers even faster. Now, these intelligent forms will only present the relevant fields and information to your customers. It comes with advanced forms validation capabilities, so your service teams can quickly collect and validate the information in a request before it gets fast-tracked automatically to the right teams to resolve. So I'm sure you're wondering, well, surely this takes months to build. Well, the no-code, low-code forms builder lets you drag and drop fields onto a canvas and create your own service experiences from scratch, faster than ever before. Or you can choose from over 300 pre-built form templates that encapsulate customer best practices across IT, HR, facilities, marketing, and so much more. So your teams can now jumpstart creating great service experiences for your employees in days and not months. We're excited to have the Proforma team join forces with us as we continue to innovate in this area. Now, your self-service portal, it's a great way to provide your employees with this one-stop shop for all their service requests. And we're making it even easier for you to customize your centralized portal so you can do things like feature certain service desks or reorder them so that your employees can get to the right teams fast. But we know that your employees would much rather not have to go to another tool to get help from IT or, for that matter, any team within your organization. So what if we could make it incredibly easy for them to ask for and get help from, say, the chat tool of their choice, like Slack or Microsoft Teams? I'm excited to share that we're going to be including the conversational ticketing capabilities of help right within Jira Service Management. We're supercharging the abilities of your service delivery front lines so they can deliver experiences your employees will love really fast. Now, your employees will never have to leave the collaboration tool of choice, and it makes for a much better service experience. Now, I know many of you are going to be excited about this next area of investment. You've told us that you'd love for us to make it easier for your service and support agents to create relevant and impactful knowledge articles right from within Jira Service Management. That you want a knowledge base that's tailor-made for service management. Well, we've heard you loud and clear. And so I'm excited to announce that in the next coming months, you'll see that we're bringing a built-in knowledge base into Jira Service Management. Now, it draws on the power of Confluence, our collaboration tool that you know and love, so you'll get to use all your favorite capabilities like inline comments, page comments, macros, and rich media right from within Jira Service Management. And we'll continue to leverage AI and machine learning techniques so we make it easier for your support agents to resolve issues fast. For instance, surfacing up relevant knowledge articles so they can resolve problems faster. So the beauty of Jira Service Management has always been that it's incredibly easy for IT to empower any team to be a service team. And yet, if you're the head of IT support and services or the CIO who's responsible for that consistent service experience across the organization, you want to make sure that there's a way to set corporate standards and maintain some level of control. Now, for many CIOs, service desk sprawl can be a real problem. So how do you democratize service delivery while maintaining control? Well, we're investing in capabilities that give your teams just that much needed autonomy to quickly set up and operate as service delivery teams while allowing you to maintain that centralized control. For instance, your teams will be able to easily configure their service desks, including things like request types and forms, fields, workflows, and automations, everything that they need to match the way they deliver service without relying on a site administrator. Now, this is especially important in enterprises where you might have, say, 15 or more finance service desks that are slightly different based on the geos that you operate in, and that's just an example, and yet you need that central ability to centrally manage them. So now you can turn service desk sprawl from what could be a nightmare into a competitive advantage. Okay, so we just stepped you through all the investments we're making to help your dev, IT, and business teams operate at high velocity and deliver value fast. Now let's take a look at some upcoming investments that will help make work visible across your enterprise. And for that, over to you, Justine.
Jira helps your teams take a big idea or goal and decompose it into projects and projects into work. Jira issues become the single source of truth. The software industry basically runs on the Jira issue as the core unit of work. And with this, you come to us to understand how your teams can work better together. But gaining access to data about how your teams are performing is challenging. The data isn't easily accessible because it's scattered across tools. So this makes areas for improvement very hard to identify. Every company has data, but very few have insights. And data isn't the only thing spread across tools. Microservices, APIs, libraries, code, rituals, documentation, I could go on and on. Today's sheer amount of engineering output has exploded, and they're all stored in a separate place. It has made it hard to track where things are, who owns them, and how they connect to each other. Worse, this makes it hard to understand how to make changes to software components without having negative, cascading impacts on teams and services. But we're going to address data sprawl first. Software teams striving to understand how to move faster need better data and insights into how they've delivered in the past, how they're doing today, and intuitive guidance on how to be more effective tomorrow. So with the work flowing through Jira, Jira will track all work across your DevOps practices. So of course, Jira does a great job of the work created in Jira. But in order to truly be the single reference point for all work in your organization, we're evolving Jira to also be a reference point for work that's created in other tools. And since the work is already being tracked in Jira, we can now surface data, insights, and recommendations in context when and where it is most actionable for teams. Jira automatically calculates how often your team is shipping value and how it's trending over time so that you don't have to manually coordinate across tools for insights on improvements. Rather than trust your gut that your team is moving as fast as possible, we've seen teams supplement their understanding with a quantitative measure, cycle time. It's the metric software teams use as their speedometer. It is what is used to measure speed from the time teams start writing code to the release of the software. It can reduce bias and provide a trustworthy baseline to drive improvement in your software development practices. We started surfacing cycle time reports in Jira that go beyond just measuring lead time, so you can optimize performance and operate at high velocity. Jira is the only tool that can track cycle time to the granular view of each stage of the software development workflow, because each piece of work across all Atlassian and all third-party tools are tied to a Jira issue. And the Cycle Time Trends report provides you with a view that helps you understand where bottlenecks are in the delivery pipeline so that you know where to focus your attention to improve. And from talking to customers, we also found that 74% of teams measure success through their deployment frequency. We can help with that. And just to sound like a broken record and really hammer it home, as long as you include that Jira issue in your deployments, Jira updates itself and deployments will start showing up in Jira. Jira's new deployment frequency report will then surface deployment trends across any CI/CD provider to help teams understand how often they're shipping value and how this is trending over time. So with this, you can easily identify outliers in your deployment process, access how well your team is managing batch sizes, and find opportunities to reduce risk. So now that we've covered how Atlassian can help tame data sprawl with insights in Jira, I want to address how we're looking at development sprawl that I referenced earlier. And you may have heard Scott announce Compass, our newest preview product from Point A, Atlassian's new program to build the next generation of products that power the future of teamwork. With Compass, you get a bird's eye view of your distributed architecture that brings it all together in one place for teams to understand their engineering output and how it all connects. Compass tames software sprawl by tracking software components in a central, searchable location with documentation, runbooks, repos, dashboards, deployments, and more associated with that component right next to it in Compass. Compass is also powerful during an incident. It gives developers access to who owns a service, who's on call for that service, how to contact them, and if they have already been alerted. And Compass scores your services with health scorecards to ensure they're always production ready. This gives teams the power to prioritize reliability fixes on Tier 1 services that will have the greatest impact if they go down. And last but not least, teams can ensure best practices are baked in when spinning up new software components by ensuring they meet the organization's compliance and security needs. But it doesn't stop there. With Compass, our vision is to support the convergence of development and IT operations teams so together they can build and run great products and services. And traditionally, IT operation teams have used a CMDB as their source of truth for application and service-related information. But keeping information in those CMDBs up to date has always been a challenge. And this problem has just gotten worse in our new digital world. We recently acquired Mindville Insights for its market-leading asset and configuration management capabilities. And I'm excited to share that it's now included in both our Jira Service Management Premium and Data Center offerings. But the real magic happens when you combine the power of Compass with Jira Service Management. Thanks to this experience, your IT operations teams will also have that much-needed, richer, real-time information about all the engineering components that your critical business applications and services depend on. So with a full and accurate picture of all things service-related, they can get to the right development teams quicker, so together they can make smarter, safer changes and respond to incidents faster. Development and IT operation teams are fundamentally changing how they partner to plan, build, and run great digital products and services. And innovations like Compass, coupled with Jira Service Management, provide these teams with that much needed visibility to collaborate and deliver at high velocity. Now over to Amita to talk through what we're doing to accelerate the flow of work between dev, IT, and business teams to ensure your products and services are always on.
Thanks, Justine. We live in a world where change is a given. You have to be able to respond almost instantaneously. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. This is where the benefit of putting dev and IT on the same platform really starts to show up. Think about it. For those of you in development, how often do you feel like you're stuck in some kind of ticket jail when it comes to getting even the simplest of changes through to production? It feels like you make a request for a change of IT operations and you have to wait. It goes into a change control process and you wait some more. You're asked to provide more information to IT operations and you go back and forth and you wait again. But there are good reasons for that. Your IT operations team is likely inundated with a whole slew of change requests, and they have to make sure that these changes don't cause downtime or put the organization at risk. But the end result isn't great, is it? There's friction, and your organization just can't respond to business changes fast enough. Well, not anymore. Let's show you how we're making it easier for your teams to collaborate and speed changes through to production and truly operate at high velocity. So let's take the example of a bank where a change manager in the IT operations team has just gotten a change request from the development team for an online banking app. Well, it's a critical service with a large change risk, so it needs approval. So she can immediately see the impacted business service and the linked repository. Now that's great. But what if we can also provide her with other crucial information like, is there an ongoing incident related to one of the dependent services? Which engineering team is responsible for that particular service? And who's on call to fix that incident? Well, Jira Service Management gives her all that information in one place. And thanks to the rich asset and configuration management capabilities from our recent Mindville Insight acquisition that are now part of Jira Service Management, it makes it so much easier. And Justine mentioned earlier, when combined with Compass in the future, your ops team will get a far richer, real-time picture of all things service-related. Now back to our example. Looks like there's an ongoing incident on a dependent service. Now that change manager can dig a little deeper, look into the impacted service, and look at all the upstream and downstream dependencies to make a better decision around that change. Now, in this case, she decides it's probably a good time to hold off on that change. Now, meanwhile, remember that dependent service that was experiencing some downtime? Well, thanks to the alerting and on-call management capabilities in Opsgenie that are now built into Jira Service Management, the right engineering teams are immediately alerted so they can come together, swarm, and resolve the incident. The incident investigation dashboard shows them all the recent deployments related to that particular service, from Bitbucket pipelines right down to the last commit. So the team can quickly roll back that change and get that service back online. Now, once resolved, the change manager can use the new change calendar view in Jira Service Management to schedule that change and push it into production with confidence. All right, so we've just shown you some of the latest advancements that can bring your dev and ops teams even closer together so they can operate at high velocity and respond to business changes fast. Over to you, Justine, to close out the session.
That's a quick hit of the exciting stuff we're working on this year to help your dev, IT, and business teams operate at high velocity and power your digital transformation initiatives. Make sure you jot down the new features you want to follow up on for your team. We're committed to driving an experience that enables dev and IT to become one team that responds to business changes and delivers great products and services that are always on and fast. Thanks for joining us today. We can't wait to jump in and explore all that's in store. We've had a lot of fun bringing these solutions to you. For those of you who tuned into Team Tour last year, you might recall us sharing that our product teams had so much fun back then that they formed their own rock band called High Velocity. Their first album was such a big hit, they're back for more. Here's a sneak preview of their latest single. I'll leave you to have a listen. Thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of the conference.